Thanks for giving me the opportunity to fight.
Appreciate you so much. Everything you've done, bro. Everything you've done. I appreciate it. Because they don't know. This is a tough business that they're in, you know what I'm saying? Iron sharpen iron. You understand?
Yeah, I understand.
Woo! While they sleep, we work! While they sleep, we work!
You speak as though I have conquered death. I live death every day. I am surrounded by it, smothered by it. Look at you now. He would have everlasting life. You seek to defy death, yet you cannot even defy sleep. And how alike sleep is to death. It is a painted death.
My wife, she's missing. I fear terribly for her safety.
Some women are just looking for a reason to go missing.
She disappeared into the Ahedar Desert, the heart of the Whispering Waste.
As suicides go, it has an exotic appeal.
I fear she has returned to my former mansion. If you would track her, find her, bring her home.
You'd pay me in sad looks and liquor?
The mansion was never reclaimed by the tax collectors. Dark rumors swirl amid the whispering winds. Land leviathans maroon amid the dunes in cataclysms past. If my vault is untouched, its entire contents, the wealth of 5 noble generations, are yours.
You had your openers and closers reversed.
I should warn you, Sir Thief, or Nachtin the boards call it. The dead citadel. Worse still, the Whispering Wastes do not lie empty. Rumors swirl of a figure, stooped and shrouded in grey, face hidden, dragging a silver blade at his side, carving his way through the criminal element of 2 entire countries. None have divined its purpose, and it has only ever spoken one word, one most would not even recognize as a name.
I remember childhood without any friends. Just me and my imagination. So I made up my own friend. Crim's my best bud. I don't know what I'd do without him. But there's some things we should keep locked away. Not the imaginary friends, but the imaginary fiends. Crim, where are you?
Nosfero, does this word not sound like the death bird culling the living dead at dawn? It is the name both ghouls and demons dare not say, for they know it means death for the undead.
Hello, what is up, all you beautiful people? It is great to see you here in the chat and on this stream. Oh my stars and garters, folks. Hold on a second here. What is going on? I look a little bit orange even for me. What is happening there? Let's see. Let's see what we can do about that. It's a bit nuts. Hope I'm on the right camera. But you never know. You never know. Is it the gamma levels? Holy cow. Yeah, maybe it's the gamma levels. Let's chill the saturation down just a bit. That's a little orange for me. I got to be honest with you. It is great to see all of you fine people here in the chat. I hope you are doing well. Oh my gosh. Crazy news, guys. Crazy, crazy news. For me anyway. It is, there are, how do I word this? I am basically just in rendering mode on Nosfero right now. There are no more figures to solve. There are no more panels to start. I am just painting away and wrapping this book up. And all of the artwork, my hard deadline I'm giving myself on painting this book is I want every page done by the last day of March. That's it. That's where we are. And I want to talk to you about what's in this book so bad, but I can't. And it's terrible. But let's see what we've got here in the chat. First off, we have Blackjack in the chat. Hail, Blackjack. It's good to see you. We have Hostman Kotaku. Socrates, my God, minus 47. Good heavens, my friend. That is... Did I get through that okay? It's great to see you. And yes, my response to that is yes. Gabe is working on it. spinning plates. That guy is amazing. We've got Tamier in the chat. Hail, Tamier. It's good to see you. Yeah, you should continue to pack up your house, I think, depending on. If it's your house, I believe that's legal. Channel member Eli Munoz, it is great to see you. I bow to you, my friend. Hail Waffles. Oh my gosh. As soon as I'm done with this stream, I'm having a box of Eggos. That's how I feel right now. It is a sunny day. Happy spring, everyone. It is a sunny day here. It was a sunny day yesterday. I am so grateful, man. I certainly need it. Hail to you, Sark. It is great to see you, my friend. Hail, Voyager 47. It is great to see you. Let's see. We've got Max Santiago here. Hello, Max. How are you doing? It is great to see you. And, of course, legend Stephen Rockwood drawing in the house. It is great to see you, my friend. The first, the Alpha, the Omega. What are you going to do? He is the channel member. American Comics Company, as I've been saying now for over a year, I think it is. You're always in good company when American Comics Company's in the house. It is good to see you, my friend. Lord Ravener, I bow to you, my friend. It is good to see you, brother, in the chat. I hope you are doing well. Let me see here. Let's see who else. We got Past Master Dan in the house. Hail, Past Master Dan. You are tweeted. My friend, you are golden. That's what I have to say about that. Let's see here. Who else have I got in the chat that I have missed? Anybody? We've got Timmy Mello. Bow to Timmy Mello. Channel member Timmy Mello. It is great to see you. And by the way, Tammy A is a channel member. So it is great to see you in the house, Tammy A. Channel member Tammy A. And then we have got, let's see who else we've got here. We've got Sheeple Hunter. Hail to you, my friend. It is great to see you, and hail to the chat indeed. Yes, guys, let me see what else. I think I've got everybody. I hope I've got everybody on there. So yeah, let's talk turkey, man. It is crazy, crazy stuff here. So I do not know what is going on with YouTube. Whoa, cancel. What is that? Oh my gosh. I never know what's going on with YouTube. Gotta be honest with you guys. For example, right now on my control panel, it says there are 0 people watching right now, which obviously is not the case. But it's a very odd thing. Julia Pascal, it is great to see you. How are you doing? You'll be back later. That sounds great. So it's very odd. I do not know what is happening with YouTube. I cannot speak to that. But we'll figure this stuff out. And yes, spring has sprung. A trap, says Past Master Dan. So let's talk a little bit about painting. Let's talk a little bit about Iron Age media. Let's talk a little bit about Comicsgate. Let's talk a little bit about Nosfero. Guys, there is no better feeling than when you have been working away on a project. It is almost euphoric right now for me, because I've been working on Nosfero and having to say to myself every single minute, you can't do that stage until you finish the painting. Until you have got the painting completely sorted on Nosfero, you cannot think about what exact dialogue bubble you're going to have here, what you're going to have there. All I've got is the things that I've written, obviously, out. So there's text for word balloons. But I just want to let the book kind of evolve, if that makes sense. I want the book to kind of go, how it's going to go. And that second to last page, which is to say, the second to last page is the last page of sequential storytelling. It's right over there. You can't see it, but I can. It's good to see a real Sean Crummell. And I can't, really do anything with it right now. I can't show it to you, but it is done. Like, I'm looking at the entire book now. It is such a great feeling. I know all of you guys who've been here and been backing books and been doing all of this stuff, you know what I'm talking about. It is so much work to do a comic book solo, and thank God on letters I have the great Eric Weathers. But it is a lot. It is a lot to write. It is a lot to put things together. And I think that's why when it was a weird feeling, because for the last couple of days I was working on a bunch of stuff. I had some weird bug I came down with. But I was working on a bunch of different stuff I couldn't show in some cases. And hail Hex Allen, how are you doing, my friend? It is great to see you, and I want to make sure I get you on stream, and I want to make sure I get the real Sean Crummell on stream. There you go, my friend. It is great to see you both. But I've been working on this thing, been plugging away on this thing forever, and it was just like I needed to power through to the finish, right? And so when I get, I didn't almost know what to do. I was like, what do I do to stream? And I'm basically getting back to a point that's a little bit more the dawn of this channel, where some of the stuff I'm working on I can't show, so I'm just going to be having some fun, kind of saluting the Iron Age and saluting my brothers in CG and my sisters in CG for that matter, and having some fun with this kind of stuff. and playing around with it. So I sat around today and I was like, going, all right, well, what should I paint on stream? And the thing that I was thinking about was this particular painting I started not long ago of this Wraith character of RAZÖRFIST that is in his book Death Mask. If you have not checked out that book, I highly recommend it. Now, the thing about RAZÖRFIST and the thing about the world that he's creating is that it's not just like it's not just a film noir kind of situation, if you know what I mean. It's got this kind of mysterious quality. Gosh, I don't want to spoil anything out of the book, but this book has got it's got some really great poetic moments where characters are seeing images of people they've lost, where you can't tell the difference between what's real and what's a dream in this story. It's got so many great factors to it, and that's the thing I love about it. You know, that's the thing I really enjoy, is that it's got this poetic thing. God, Tammy's just trying to get a break from being a nurse. I'd love to come on sometime, but driving right now. I'll have to do a StreamYard, because when I'm on Ecamm, hail, what is up, Admiral Wackass? It is great to see you, channel member Admiral Wackass, my brother. It is great to see you. But I will tell you this, I'm gonna have to do a StreamYard for that, because the way I'm doing this stuff right now, it's all so I could get these high resolution videos out. And so the having people on aspect of this is really not great. It's hard for people to see what they're doing, but yeah, absolutely. Reach out to me and we'll get that sorted. Because I think that'd be a blast, man. It's guys, it's been nuts. So I started reading this book, and you never know. The thing that's kind of cool is once you make the decision, as I know a lot of us have, that you want to support people who are creating stuff in alternative, media and Iron Age sort of media, as as we call it, thanks to RAZÖRFIST. You kind of, you kind of look for different stuff. You start looking for things, and you're a little bit, at least for me, let me speak for myself. I was a little bit, concerned always when I'm reading stuff that is it going to be, just something I could kind of get, anywhere else? Is it going to be, something that is, really intriguing and interesting and takes things in an interesting direction? And I've been so pleasantly surprised going from book 1 of RAZÖRFIST's Nightfall saga series of books right now. I've been so pleasantly surprised with the twists and turns it takes. There are times things happen to characters and you're just thinking, oh my god, did that just happen? It's totally nuts, man. It's totally nuts. But I'm digging it. I'm really digging it. Yeah, have Hex on, says Admiral Wackass. There you go. That's right. Well, if Admiral says it, then I've got to make it happen. It's the way it is. But you sit around, you look at all this great stuff, and you look at this work that's going on. God, I want to show you guys that second to last page right now so bad. It is just horrendous. But I think sometimes, as you guys know, when you're working on a big project, when you're working on something that's really, really complicated and incredibly involved and is just a marathon to create, the euphoria when you start, or I should say, the fear you feel when you get to those last 50 miles is stay focused. You got a long way to go, even though it's closer than you've been in a long time to the finish line. And then when you get to that last bit finally where you give yourself permission to kind of go, look, we've finally gotten it to that point, it's euphoric, guys. It is just fantastic, man. Oh yeah, that's the stuff I love. Blue orange is my favorite complementary color. So I use a manganese blue and a cadmium orange medium, and it just gives it that little bit, that sort of, chef's kiss quality when those colors are going together. And you can see it right there in the mask, which is why I use Ecamm now, because I can show you guys stuff like this, ultra high resolution, color and ultra high resolution detailing. I mean, just look at how that stuff comes together. It is such a fun thing to do. And what's cool with a piece like this, and what's sort of fun about it is because this piece has so many, what's the word I'm looking for here? Because it has so many twists and turns where it goes with the grit, and then it goes into the kind of the whimsical and then into things that are almost surrealist, you've got so much, so many places you can go when you're working and you're painting on a project like this. Yes, I can't wait 2 weeks, and I'll be watching from my screened-in back porch, looking at the lake that is my backyard. Tammy A, congratulations. That sounds fantastic, and good luck with the move. Because I know moving is like, when you're done with moving, you always think, I'm never moving again. That's how at least it is for me, And yeah, I love hearing good things happen to good people. That's really what it's about. And so this character right here in RAZÖRFIST's story is a very mysterious character who seems to be severely injured, yet has almost seeming supernatural power and ability and skill. And the thing for me about that is that it just raises so many questions when you see it. And I, like a lot of people, I was wondering, is this something that's going to be, supernatural? Is this going to be something that's a character that's out of left field? And then when you learn the character's background and you learn more about the character, it's just great, man. It adds so much to, your enjoyment of the story. And I would encourage anybody who hasn't checked it out, if you're the kind of person who favors audiobooks, grab a hold of the audiobook that is live. I think you can get to it on the link I have in the description. And if you are a fan of just holding the book in your hand, I can't recommend enough the hardcover of the book, which, by the way, hold on a second here. Got a brush in my hand here. I have right here, Death Mask, Nightfall Book 2 by RAZÖRFIST. So there you go. And yeah, the Wraith character was a no-brainer to me because he's got this kind of seemingly ghoulish, broken body that makes me think of... Darn it, I just forgot the comic book artist I was going to mention, and I totally lost it. Oh, you're very welcome, Tammy. You're very welcome. Wackass observation, that is an unusual name for a human meat bag. Yeah, well, it's, that's just the way it is here, Yeah, I'm the guy named Shanth, so, I can't really throw stones in that glass house of unusual meat bag names. My trainer, who you can tell by looking at me, I haven't seen in a while, God bless him, used to tell me over and over again, and something I'm going to really get after is, he goes, Shanth, you got to take care of your meat vehicle, brother. So yes, I do need to take better care of my meat vehicle, or it will break down. But I just want to do artwork, and I want to do things that are going to move forward what we're doing in culture, because I'm like a lot of you guys. I'm white-pilled as hell, but I'm pragmatic, and I know that you've got to try to overwhelm people with quantity, but that's very difficult when you're a one-person show or a couple-person show. So it's anything anybody can do at any time to help, get the word out, or just to tell people, just like we did, I think some of the best marketing for comic book shops, and guys, I have to tell you this, I was thinking about my childhood local comic shop, LCS, and I was really having something I haven't felt in a long time, and maybe it's getting to the end of Nosfero, where I was just missing it, man. I was just really yeah, I always take mail-in white pills, and you know what I'm talking about. White Boy Summer lasts all year long. And it's upon us again. But it's one of those things to where I was missing that feeling of going into the comic book shop, and in terms of back then and what I was excited about and the comics that were on the rack. And I was thinking about when I picked up one of the early issues of Pit. I cannot remember the issue number. I think it might have been issue 2. I could be wrong, but it might have been issue 2. And I was brought it into the local mall, into the video arcade, and was showing it to a friend of mine. I was like, this is the best stuff ever, And I was so excited, man. When you get to that age where your knees provide background music with every step you take, snap, crackle, pop, amen, Timmy, and that's exactly where I am, man. I'm just a series of rickety bones, a bag of bones. Let's see here. I kept thinking the stairs were broken. Yeah, I know. Yeah, 2 was fun. Read it recently. Guys, I cannot wait for Dale and Phil to get that trade paperback out. I hope that project is going along swimmingly. I have no information that you guys don't have. At least I think so. But I cannot wait because I was looking at Kelsey and oh my god, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. I must be tired, guys. Kelsey and Richard Friend looking at Dale's stuff, and they were showing a lot of work from what's it called? A lot of work from Heritage Auction. They were talking about Dale Keown's work, and the thing about it that was so amazing to me is when you look at those high resolution scans of Dale's stuff, you get what a craftsman he is. Now, again, the sign to me of somebody who is a master of their craft is the fact that Dale's stuff has continued to go up in quality. So you've got early work that is of incredibly high caliber, but when I saw that mail-in piece on stream, I was like, wow, this dude, man, doing pen and ink, and then pencil, pen and ink, then spray fixative, I should say, then more pencil, then spray fixing. That stuff is incredible. It's just incredible stuff, man. And I love seeing it. I love seeing that stuff come together. So I can't wait for that piece. I hope that Malin releases a poster or a print or something like that of the black and white raw art, because holy cow, man, I want to see that. I love that stuff. I don't know how many Keown fans we've got. Hopefully we've got a few. Yeah. Oh yeah, Heritage Auction or Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's where I go. That's where I go to get my fix of comic book artwork. You know, it's that's where I saw. I'm trying to think of. I used to go there to look at Todd McFarlane originals before we had that incredible artist edition, and hopefully in my lifetime we will get a Dale Keown artist edition. Because if there is an artist who is begging to have, he's not begging, but we're begging to have an artist edition of, it's got to be Dale, man. I mean, that stuff is sick. You know, I love this character's kind of crooked knee, man. Oh, Admiral, man. Woo! Channel member, legend. That cover is insane. He shows it on video, and it's on StreamYard, so it's not the highest resolution, video, but you can just tell if you love that kind of, glorious kind of faint pencil work he does. Yeah, Past Master Dan, you're absolutely right. It looks airbrushed. Dale effing Keown, big fan, without a doubt. This is the thing about it too. Dale's work is of the caliber and of the quality to where everything he does, every piece of artwork that he makes, I feel like we learn something from it. And it is just one of those things to where a lot of people, how do I word this? The issues of Pitt, the reason why we're all still talking about Pitt is because of the love, the care, and the craft that he put into those books. They will stand the test of time. You will see, artist editions of them. It's like Bernie Wrightson's Frankenstein. When Bernie was working on Frankenstein, I know that it was like he was doing a lot of other work to try to, be able to afford to do Frankenstein. He had a lot of things going on. God rest him, his Swamp Thing work and his Frankenstein work will stand the test of time. That's why people are eagerly awaiting Bernie Wrightson's Frankenstein artist edition, which they did announce at a certain point, because these guys are legends, man. These guys are legends. Yeah, Julie, you're absolutely right. The cover is amazing. I mean, the way that this guy, I said it on stream, for those of you, if you guys saw Post Kangs, or I sent it as a super chat, and I said other things on stream, is the thing about Dale that amazes me is, or just I stand in awe of, is the way that he has this breathtaking combination of being able to create volume with his characters and not lose energy. His stuff is so powerful. There are people who've got this incredible ability to do kind of more volumetric drawing, but really have energy. I think of Mike Zeck's work, who I'm a huge fan of Mike Zeck. First comic that got me into a comic shop was I was looking for Punisher Limited Series Issue 2. I think I got it in absolutely wretched condition because I wanted to have it so bad, and that's all they had left there. So it was a pretty beat up condition. Timmy Mello, channel member, hail of course as always. When you think of bulging veins and muscles in comics, Dale was the engineer in perfecting that look. Keown is an absolute master. He is an absolute master. And that's why I always think that when it comes to buying art, and when it comes to hiring artists, there are people that how do I word this? There's a level of quality that just makes for iconic imagery. And there's not a lot of people who have the skill set to pull that sort of stuff off. And that's why it's so expensive. That's why it's so expensive. I mean, I don't know what Dale charges, so I cannot speak for him, but I would hope it's expensive. Because you're getting something that's going to be iconic and stand the test of time. In many ways, you know, like Steranko's Shadow or any of the stuff that we look at, you're getting, excuse me, you're getting the definitive look and an iconic look at your character. And I freaking love it, man. I love what Dale does. And there's just so many people who are just crushing it right now in CG. And when Nosfero drops, it's going to be the same thing. It's just going to be more. And it feels like such a tremendous relief to be where I'm at on Nosfero right now. I cannot tell you. Because it's not fun to... what's the word I'm looking for? It's not fun to work on anything else when you've got a book hovering over your head. You're just thinking about it constantly. And it's great. I mean, I want to be doing it. I want it to be the best book possible. But it is so labor intensive. And you kind of... How do I word this? My brain is so engineered to be thinking about what's the next layout page going to be. When I stopped having to think about layout pages, I didn't know what to do with myself. You know, it's the same thing right now, where I'm going to go through this period of rendering these things out where I think, okay, now I got to get paint on another page. I got to get paint on another page. And I'm going to go, oh wait, they're all started. They're all started, man. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Here we go from Past Master Dan. Comicsgate has convinced me to pick up the hobby again. I love hearing that. And channel a lifetime of experience into it. Thanks, Comicsgate. I can't say that enough, man. That's why I've got that. I've always, had my salutes to Comicsgate, but I made that a revision of this video I usually play, which is, about the Iron Age, and it says Comicsgate, man. That's how it's got to be. At Shanth Enjeti Art, observation, the meat bag, which is subject of your drawing, reminds me of Night. Oh God, I can't pronounce this. I'm so sorry. Artorias, is that right? Did I pronounce that right? Artorias, a meatbag boss in Dark Souls. Very cool. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up now, but sounds cool. I've heard of Dark Souls, so that still makes me old. Old as F. Cranberry Langer's channel member, hail to you. It is great to see you in the house. And we've got Phil, Speak of the Devil. It is great to see you, Phil. I think one of these streams, because now it's getting, I can't really paint Nosfero on stream when I'm rendering it out. And I've got, I got to show these pages to somebody, man. Phil, I may send a glimpse of these pages to you at some point soon, man. Yes, I am. I'm live. Is that what the red line at the bottom of the video means? I think it does. I hope so. Yeah, I hope I'm live. Okay, Artorias. I think I pronounced that. Yes. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, this is the thing about it, it's like I cannot tell you how excited I am looking at this page because every time I paint a figure, particularly a female figure in this book, there's not an abundance of clothing, as you know, because that's how I roll. But the other aspect of it is that's another thing is you want every painting to be a little, or every female figure that you paint to be beautiful, and you it's not like I have a assembly line system where I'm like, and here's the rib cage, and here's this. That works for some people. Some people love doing that. To me, it's much more about the light. It's much more about that individual, thing. And it's like you look at, when I look at my painters that I admire, whether it's Richard Corbin or Frank Frazetta, people with that energy, with that fire in their work, there's this feeling that they're kind of inventing it every panel, and their stuff, but it's just sick, man. It's sick. Yeah, Liv Live will have a red dot by the avatar in your list. There you go. Gotcha. Everybody's saying hello to everybody here in the chat. It is good to see, man. It is good to see. But yeah, I mean, when I'm doing that kind of work, it's really intense, and to be at the point where you've got all of your figures illustrated is a great feeling. I mean, these little single image illustrations, I could do art books all the live long day. It is so much easier to do that kind of thing because You don't have to think about how every painting ties into the other paintings. You still pour your soul into it. I mean, if you give me, a cover or a pinup or whatever to do, I mean, my attitude is I'm going to pour my soul in it just the same. But the level of complexity of fully painted comic books is its own thing. It's its own animal. It is different than any other way of making work. And I've done pencil and ink comic books. I've done penciled comics. I've done pen and ink comic books. In self-publishing and publishing, and there is just nothing, for whatever reason, there's nothing more complicated than doing a fully painted book. It still blows my mind. It's a crazy time. Let's see here. You're darn right, Stephen Rockwell. Oh, you don't even know, man. You don't even know. Let's see here. A good way to establish the size of your character is by contrasting them with others. It's totally different size and shape. Dale Keown, Wizard, How to Draw Proportions. Dale is the man. What is up, awesome one? I hope you are having an awesome day, my friend. It is great to see you in the chat. Intense. You're absolutely right. Sometimes I'm too tense, man. I got to be honest with you. I'm a teepee. I'm a pup tent. I'm just too tense. You're absolutely right. Let's see here. Sorry, Past Master Dan was just messing with Shanth. I knew he was live. I gotcha. That's right. Hail, everybody is saying hello. It is good to see all of you guys in the chat. But I'm like you guys, right? This is a hobby, and the thing about it is there's obviously work on the creative end of it, but on the other aspect of it, on the other end, it should be fun. We should be making things that, again, to paraphrase or to quote via Phil Diaz and Zaid Comics, what Jim Steranko said, Pulp is all about sexiness, mystery, and danger. And when I go to do a painting, when I go to do something, I am absolutely trying to grab people and say, pull them into this story with all of those ingredients, man. Got to get the grandkid. All right, Past Master Dan. Love to the family. Take care, and thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. I have that book open with me now, and it's an absolute gem in learning about comics from the pros. I'm telling you what, those were the golden days. That was the time I was thinking about, when you'd go into your comic shop and there'd be stuff like that. Oh, thank you, Cranberry Langers. I really appreciate that, brother. I do. Yes, indeed. And later, Past Master Dan. It's because what you're trying to create is this immaculate reality, and it's one of the things that I think RAZÖRFIST does incredibly well in these books, is he creates this sense of an immaculate reality. You get this sense when you're looking at his work that or you're reading his work that he is fully immersed in the story. And it's the same thing with Nosfero. I mean, the things that I am thinking about until I get to the point I'm at right now are things like the tilt of the head, who's where in what panel. And there's this great moment for me that was created between the second to the last, or the last panel on the second to last page, which is page 32, and then so the last panel on page 32 to the final page, page 33, that just, it happened today. I went, that's the composition that's going to put the meaning into this book. And hell yeah, thank God for whatever that influence is, and the poetic, and thank God for the muse, and Mrs. Enjeti for that matter too. Because people always ask me, who do you think of when you're writing your characters or writing your story? In some ways, all of the female, characters, female leads, the good characters, are based on, Mrs. Enjeti. They're based on my wife, man. And so it's like, that's for me is always the thing I'm thinking about when I'm working, is trying to put my heart and soul into it. And I know you guys, I'm sure I've said this on stream before, but my left arm is a mess. Oh my God, what are you doing to me? Super chat in the house. Holy cow. Goodness gracious. Hostman, Kotaku, Socrates, -47. Super chat $5. Thank you so much. Clarification. Yes, it's pronounced Artorius. Artorius. And he is a dark wraith. Oh my God, holy cow. Hold on. Oh, I just missed it. Sorry, it just disappeared on me. It's got a time thing. I read at the speed of stop. Who was once a human meatbag as well. Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, that's what I love. And we got to bring on the cheerleaders. Timmy Mello is right. This is for you, my friend. Here you go. Thank you, Hostman. I bow to you, sir. Charge! The girls love you. Mwah. What can you say? What can you say? We love the girls. Another comic legend feature. Oh, yes, is the late Michael Turner, indeed. Rest in peace. What a legend. Heard he was a terrific guy to fans, obviously. He's another person whose legacy is outlasting, and that is what it's about. That is what it's about. Let me see here. What else have we got here? Howdy, everybody saying Bishop's Muse. Cool. Timmy Mello, Max Santiago. That's a hell of an image for a t-shirt, Shanth. Oh, man, thank you. I appreciate that, dude. Yeah, you know, here's the thing for me is I grew up with, these are the things, guys, maybe I'm getting a little too nostalgic lately, but can you get too nostalgic? Because I will let you guys in on a little secret that's not the greatest secret in the world. What is up, 40%? Zed, it is great to see you. Shanth, in the games past, was a heroic knight, I'm not going to butcher it again, that stood against a great evil. He sacrificed himself to save a friend, and the abyss swallowed him. The player encounters his corrupted wraith form. Okay, so here's a question. Is this a little bit like Griffith in Berserk, when he gets all beat up before he kind of gets reborn and he's a mess? I'm just curious. Because I remember that character was absolutely awesome. Yeah, reading plus Shanth equals bad times. Amen. Yes, exactly. Tuna astrologic sounds great with relish. It absolutely is. And how are you doing, Vero? It's good to see you. Forgot to say hi. Mesmerized by your... Oh, thank you, Vero. My God, you guys are kind. So, yeah, I mean, we are where we are right now. It's nuts. I mean, I've got all of the pages with paint on them. It's just rendering things out right now. I can't show you most of the stuff I'm doing because it's spoiler territory. So we're working on a little bit of this. We're going to have some fun. And it's fun stuff, man. All right, Cranberry Langers, back to work, my friend. I totally know what you mean. It's, but so, yeah, I mean... It's a crazy thing because I actually get really into other Iron Age creators stuff, and I want to try to start, you know, using these streams to just, you know, when I'm not painting Nosfero, come on here and know that it's okay. Which it takes me a while, man. I've definitely got a fair amount of guilt in me about like you can't do anything but Nosfero. It's generally speaking. It's how people who get things done. You know, you got to just keep yourself focused. And, but the thing is that the other aspect of what I like to do is help promote people's stuff. So I hope to be doing a lot of different stuff. Like I really do hope to be doing, you know, other Iron Age stuff and Comicsgate stuff as well for you guys on these streams because it's easy and I can put them on the website to sell. If people want to buy them, they can buy them. Oh my gosh, another super chat from Hostman. Holy cow. Let me get this on screen here. God, can I read it, though? That's the real question. Query. Any recommendations from the Human Meatbag Michael Turner's back catalog? Don't worry, this shtick isn't permanent. It ends May 4th. Understood. My God, let me get you some cheerleaders first. And I want recommendations in the chat, because I would say Fathom, and his Fathom and Witchblade stuff, right? Obviously, but I'm trying to think of what else outside of there. We're making it rain, cheerleaders. That's the best thing to me. I love the whole making the custom emojis for channel members of the cheerleaders. That was so fun, man. And thank you, Timmy Mello. I appreciate you being a channel member. But yeah, Michael Turner sort of, how do I describe his stuff? It was almost like just this incredibly playful and evocative, but a little bit more cartoony and soft version of what Silvestri does. And it's got this look. If you love that stuff, you're going to love it. I'm going to get on those Michael Turner collections as well. There's a really good Facebook page on Mike's work. See, that's the thing, guys. The true blue fans of the stuff that you do, they're the people ultimately who carry your legacy forward, share it. They're your ambassadors when you go out there. And you see people like when Ethan was getting kicked around and when he was dealing with his stuff, you know, from cancelers and all of that business. I know you guys know this, but, you know, he had his fans out there in force who were like going, no, And that's big for you. And so when I see the Frazetta fans out there still like waving the flag for Frazetta, it's great. What is up, my brother from another mother? RT Bear, how are you doing? It is great to see you, my friend. Hail to you, brother. I hope you were doing well. Art. All right, Art, I've got you here. This is very weird, man. And let me just say this. Thank you, God, because it is weird when things line up. So, Art, let me say this to you real quick while I've got you here. Hopefully you got a second. Last night, I was thinking about a comic book shop that was on Brainerd Road that I used to walk through a bus tunnel when I was growing up in Chattanooga to go to in the middle of the school day. I loved going to this comic shop. So I was like a senior in high school at this point, I think. And I remember going there and getting the issue of Arthur Adams' Fantastic Four, the new Fantastic Four that you inked. And that was the first time I saw your initials. And I was like, I've got to follow this guy's stuff. I can't wait for Black and White, man. It is a pleasure to know you, brother. So much love, Art. So there you go. Yes. Yeah. Turner was westernized anime. Very good point, man. Yeah, very good point. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, thank you so much, Art. I appreciate it. Much love, brother. Much love. And hail, Mr. Monkey Boy 1969. It is great to see you. And guys, lots of stuff is happening. Yeah, hail indeed. Hail to everybody. Batman Superman Apocalypse was the peak of his work, and I'm glad it was made into a movie with his art style preserved. Oh, that's great. A super chat. Oh my gosh. Yeah, a super chat from Plush. Thank you so much. Hail, Pulp Pimps. Sarah Pazzini is an OG wifey. There you go. My gosh. And let me get you some cheerleaders because that's how we do things here. Here you go. Charge! I mean, absolutely. Thank you so much for the super chat. I bow to you, my friend. Yes, the new Fantastic Four. Let me tell you something. That book is a masterpiece that will stand the test of time. It still fights its way into the front of my brain when I'm thinking about comics I love, man. And I have to tell you this, man. I cannot wait for Black and White, dude. You are crushing it, man. The work you show is awesome. Awesome. Artie Bear, says Stephen Rockwood. Of course, Art, you know, it's from the heart, brother. It is what it is. The first time I was ever on a Comicsgate stream and people were talking about my work, you were on there, and it was on Ethan's show. I think it was, forgive my spectrum. I think it was November 3rd, 2019, I want to say. Maybe it was. And Ethan showed my Instagram on one of his live streams, and you were on there, and you were saying all this nice stuff about my work. And, dude, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I know it was from the heart, and this is from the heart, brother. That's the way it is. So you are very welcome. Yeah, Black and White is going to be sweet. Yeah, absolutely. Super plush, indeed. Hey, Rockwood, sup, plush. Yes, indeed. Hail, plush. It is great to see you, you know? And that's really what it is, man. It's like, if you can be in a space with other artists and feed off of each other creatively, you know, that's one of the coolest things in the world. If you don't have artist brothers, it's one of the loneliest things, you know, as far as art goes. And if you don't have fans who are excited and waiting for the book, I can't wait to get you the book as much as you can't wait to have it, you know? And that is just, that's a beautiful thing, man. That's the stuff that the new wave of pop culture is going to be made of. And people are going to go, oh my gosh, if I had been there then, but we're the people who are there. We're the people who are making it, backing it, and making this stuff happen, man. And that is a cool thing. Hail to you, Art. Much love, brother. And so, you know, I mean, for me, as I look at this stuff, and I think about, you know, what is it that I love about what RAZÖRFIST is doing in his work? It's the same thing, because comics owes a lot of its, and that wave of pop culture owes a lot of its foundation to those pulp stories, right? And so what I always think about is we need to have an equally strong rebirth of pulp, which I believe is what RAZÖRFIST is making happening, and a lot of us are making happening, which is to say, you know, written, you know, stories, short stories with beautiful illustrations that are, you know, you get lost in the magic of the words. And I think that is equally as important. We spend a lot of time thinking about, right, the gentleman, I hate that I keep forgetting his name. The gentleman that Ethan had on his channel who is the science fiction writer. Someone in the chat's going to get it. This stuff is so important. Yes, hail the Iron Age indeed, and hail Comicsgate. It's the truth, man. It's great. Any signed copies of the RAZÖRFIST book? I think he sold out of those, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not positive though. There might be some left, or I'm sure there's a way you can get them signed from him at some point. And yeah, hail the Iron Age and hail Comicsgate, man. We've got Stippling Vaughn in the house. Sounds like you want to pimp me out for work. That's right. Hey, listen, I'm good with pimping people out for work. That's, guys, the coolest thing about Comicsgate and the coolest thing about the Iron Age, right, is we put our work out there. Yes, Larry Carell, thank you so much. Yes, it's Larry Correa, right? I think they just auto-corrected you. Larry Correa, or Korea, I think it is. Thank you. Yes, I think you've got it. That's the one. He's doing that with longer form novels, right? He's pushing against this craziness, which is to say non-entertaining entertainment, didactic lecture entertainment, for lack of a better way of putting it. And my goal is, as an artist, is to kind of try to lend a hand to all of the stuff that we're doing, and also, show people what I can do. Quality will rise to the top here in CG, but it's like you got to build your own channel. That's a big one. You got to build your own channel, and you got to just stay on it. And you've got, when you launch a book and when you create a book, you got to know it's going to be a grind. Like, obviously many of us who've worked professionally and all that stuff know, but it's going to be an intense grind to put this thing together, harder than you can imagine. But that's what it's going to take to push back against all of this nonsense and crap we're dealing with. Do you know what I mean? Of my work. Yeah. I sign every copy of the art books, of the art books and of the comic books. So all those will be signed. And then on my website, of course, I've got originals for sale, and every single one of those are signed. So yes, absolutely. Yes, don't monkey correct me. I love that. Oh my God, you're killing me, dude. The Shadow Batman plagiarism is hysterical. The unfilmed Batman Year One origin by Frank Miller and Aronofsky seems all that more unique to a modern retelling. Yes, indeed. Yeah, guys, I gotta tell you, I've always liked Frank Miller, but when on Post Kangs, I guess it was last week, I can't remember, the days blur together. When the question was, how does everybody feel about Frank Miller? I have more respect for Frank Miller every day, man. That dude's created some amazing stuff. Stanley used the Spider Pulp to get Spider-Man character name. Yeah, I love the Spider artwork. There's a book on Carlos, forgetting what his last name is, who did a lot of the famous Spider Pulp illustrations that I want to get from the Illustrated press. They do great stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Hooked on Monkey Phonics worked for me. I know. Hooked on Monkey Phonics. I'm still struggling, man. I'm still struggling. But yeah, I mean, think about the things that we could do when we bring what we do into physical media. Physical books that you can get. I mean, even with audiobooks, I think it's making it manifest in a very, particular way. That is like radio. And I think there's so much room for radio storytelling right now that hasn't been tapped into. I know I've messed with it. Some people are doing some interesting stuff with it, but we really have an opportunity to do, really cool radio shows, radio dramas. The trick is, with all of this stuff, is you have to tell stories that are engaging and captivating, that aren't going to be touched by the mainstream. It's not about doing what the mainstream does and just doing it, as an independent. It's about doing it better, because that's why people aren't in the mainstream right now, Yeah, hooked on my Monkey Phonics. I love that, guys. You guys are killing me, man. Let's see here. I just received Bancroft's Lucent after ordering it from his website. It's different, but the system is in place for pros to get their work to the readers without the politics of middlemen crowdfunders. And there's so much news on that front, guys. So a lot of us are having conversations behind the scenes as, websites are being built and new platforms, independent platforms by creators are being made. And I think that's why the self-promotion component is going to be even more important than it's ever been. But we are definitely getting to the point to where we're going to be able to cut out the middleman. And I don't think, one of the things I learned when I was a teacher, and it's only gotten worse since I left, I made the right call. I heard a story that was just chilling this week about a former colleague being, having to apologize for existing, essentially. And one of the things that is really kind of cool about this stuff is, as we take the reins, we're going to be able to push the envelope more in our work, because you start self-censoring when people are trying to take your livelihood. It's twisted in how insidious it is. So you've got faculty and people who won't tell people their work has got a problem. It's like doctors afraid to diagnose you. It's nuts, man. It's nuts. Yeah, that being said, I still got Narwhal's book from Indiegogo. Yeah, absolutely. Carlos Rivera, this one I have right. I know you do, Mr. Monkey Boy 1969. And yeah, I mean, people don't realize, or the great myth that people put out there, that there weren't all different kinds of people from all over working in mainstream pop culture since its inception, is the greatest myth ever perpetuated and the greatest myth ever sold to a younger generation of people. And it's going to take a lot of us just repeating things over and over and over again to get people to wake up to the fact that that is not the case, that is not what's going on. You know, we've been hanging out. Comics shops have always been cool places. Well, relative, depending on what your definition of cool is. But comic shops have always been awesome places to go and meet different kinds of people, but also mainly to meet people with a similar interest. It was never about what people looked like, man. It was about what people were into. And, you know, now that I know for sure that Star Wars is dead, no. It's so heartbreaking, man. I've been out for a while, but I heard the latest bit of news about it, and I just was like, oh, isn't that tragic? Got arthritis under control. But my God, I heard that and I was like, okay. I mean, the ratings for Star Wars, thanks to the brilliant strategies of Kathleen Kennedy, have fallen off of a cliff. And, you know, as it should be. As it should be. Those people, the people who, that's why, what was it? I think it was Steve Jobs who talked about why big companies fail. And he talked about it from the standpoint of the people who actually know how to run things leave. And you don't notice the impact of them leaving at first because the stuff they've put in place is still kind of, you know, generating revenue and generating success, and you can trade on it. But when things start to go bad, they fall quickly because these folks don't know how to do anything but talk. Don't know how to do anything but have opinions. They don't know how to actually build anything. And Disney is collapsing before our very eyes, and Universal's picking up the slack. It's going to be brutal. Ciao, Shanth. Good stream. Good day, everybody. Take care, Cranberry Langers. It was great having you in here. Be safe out there, Cranberry Langers. He secretly puts cherry Coke in his water bottle. Oh, God, that would be great right now. I would love some cherry Coke in this water bottle, man. Hail, John. It's good to see you. Commonly referred to as a brain dump. Indeed. Hello, all. Yes, you're right. It is. It's a total brain dump. It's, what's the word? Also, the word with it. Yeah, they say brain drain, but there's like another one too as well. Brain dump, brain drain, and something. But there's another expression, but you're right. We've seen this so much that we have terms for it. You know what I mean? We have terms for this, and still people can't avoid doing it. And it really is, and the reason is, and Jordan Peterson talked about this with the Pareto distribution, is that the people with the most skill are the people who have options and can leave. And it's a very strange kind of phenomenon where you see people who don't even understand who their best workers are, who the people who are bringing the most to the table. Disney made that mistake, and now Universal theme parks are going to absolutely obliterate them. I mean, I've been saying this for a while now, but now it's becoming common knowledge. And I'm a hardcore fan of the Disney Walt Disney. I'm a huge fan of the man Walt Disney. Everything he did, and it is heartbreaking for me as someone who is, you know, loves his idea and his vision for this world that they are dismantling. But holy cow, Universal's gonna crush them, man. It's scary stuff, man. Yeah, I have those too as well, man. You trying to tell me something? I don't know. I can't barely speak. Awesome one. I think Valiant Renegade. Yes, or Culture Casino said China bought out Disney to push the woke to undermine America. Well, I will tell you this. Valiant Renegade has been on it big time. Awesome one. I love watching that guy's show because I'm interested in the finances, but also him and WDW Pro have been breaking a lot of entertainment news that I think is vital for people to understand. So Steve Jobs talked about, you know, that thing, and he said when a company gets to a certain size, people can't imagine it collapsing. They can't imagine it having a problem, you know, and falling apart. And I've been shocked that people, like, it's not like they're going to go bankrupt, but they are no longer a part of the cultural zeitgeist to a younger generation. They just aren't. People are watching Illumination movies. They're not watching Disney animated features and Pixar animated features like they used to. They don't care about Star Wars or Marvel anymore. Look at the box office drop in both of those, and no one's watching Mandalorian. They're ready for new stuff, and they're ready for indie stuff. Indie stuff just has to do it. You know, indie stuff has to just... God, I want to show you this page I was working on of Nosfero. It's annoying, but instead I'm going to show you this. But I want to see sexy stuff. You know, that's... Yeah, the old Too Big to Fail stuff, Timmy Mello, you're absolutely right. I want to see pulp. I want to see sexiness. I want to see action. I want to see drama. I want to see you know, things like, you know, like really cool horror movies, really cool creepy stuff, really cool superhero stuff. I want to see, you know, Batman the Dark Knight. You know what I mean? That's what's possible. I want to see, you know, aspirational stuff, positive stuff, but we get to be, you know, this is outlaw comics, you know, as the kayfabers would say, cartoonist kayfabe people would say, you know. And it's like, we can push the envelope. We have to be outlaw comics in that sense. Let me see here. Yes, let's see. Yes, uncancel beauty, uncancel logic. Amen. Hello, Neon Todd Studios. How are you doing, my friend? And so to me, like when I'm thinking about this painting right here, there's a part where Xerxes, who is the lead character in this, yeah, we want to see boobs without guilt again. Absolutely. And curves. Look, man. Timmy Mello, you know where I'm at with that. That's right. Ah, curves. Yes, indeed. But I'm looking at this stuff and I'm thinking, where's the sexiness coming from? Well, the lead character, Xerxes, during this particular sequence, hallucinates a lost woman he was in love with, and a woman who he lost. And I'm like going, oh, in the midst of this, I've got to do a sexy female character in this to make it more engaging, because that's what you do when you're trying to sell your stuff to the audience. Do you know what I mean? That's how you have to think. And you can't think about it any other way. You've just got to go full tilt. You got to bring things to the table, you know? Got to bring things to the table. Let me see here. Maybe I'll start figuring her out and putting her in here. There we go. Because it is both a haunting and creepy scene and a very, very cool scene in the story. Really love that stuff. I mean, there's so many. RAZÖRFIST really writes in a way that, you know, puts pictures into your head, and it's fun. So I've got the same way he talks. If you guys know his channel, it's the same way he talks, man. He's just very driven that way. Yeah, Rob is our boob. We love Rob, man. Hail to Rob. He's the man. Yeah, guys, it is. How do I word this? So supposedly, when you go off to art school, supposedly, right? And this is the biggest bunch of bullshit ever. And yeah, it's getting to be that time, and I'm definitely rediscovering some of my annoyance about certain things. But you go off to art school and they say you're totally free. That's absolutely not true. You are not free when you go to art school. You are not free. At art school, they teach you to hate men. They teach men to hate themselves. That's one of their big things. And they also teach you to be absolutely terrified of male heterosexuality. Period. So if you want to paint a sexy figure, you want to learn how to do that kind of thing, it's almost like you have to get it past a committee of your classmates on whether or not you have the right to do it and you're doing it in the right way. Any other group does not have that put upon them. And it is complete and utter crap. And I'm sorry, it is the phrase I started using during my last few years of teaching is whenever I'd see a student be nervous and hiding in his sketchbook some like pinup drawing he was working on, I would say, hey man, understand this. You can't pray you're straight away. Deal with it. You can't pray you're straight away. And it was so funny because it was such a brutal way to put it. But, yeah, they used to. Yeah, because they have this funny line, right? We're for free expression. They don't do it anymore. Let me be clear. If a picture is worth 1,000 words and words can be violence, then you have to imagine what they view a picture as being. No, they don't say you're free anymore. Now, like, you have to be apologetic for your very existence, right? You have to apologize for being an American now. Let's call it what it is. And that is absolutely insane to me. And just to be able to be free to paint what I want to paint and draw what I want to draw is an unbelievable freedom that I didn't realize how much was taken from me when I went off to college. Think about that. I was so much less free when I went there. It seems male dominance is coming back. They're just wearing dresses now. Oh my God. Yeah, uncancel freedom too. Yeah, now we need to do that. Well, here's what I would say about this, right? I mean, you laugh, but it's like it's the weirdest thing in the world because it's you have to what needs to happen, frankly, is you got a generation of guys who are waiting around to ask ladies if it's okay for them to be masculine men, if it's okay for them to be men. You do not ask permission. Just live your life. Just do what you're going to do. Make the art you want to make. Nobody else is apologizing for whatever insane stuff they're putting out there. How come with this one particular group they don't get to? You know, and they think, oh, it's about you being a barbarian. Like, they don't know shit about being a man. They have a lot of opinions about what it means to be a man, but they have absolutely no idea what it's actually like. Because believe me, if you were to say, well, this is what I think like what it's like to be a woman, they'd tell you to be quiet, right? They'd say, shut up, what do you know about being a woman? The reverse has to be true. The reverse has to be true. It's like you can't have it just, you know, both ways. You know? The sauce that's good for the goose is good for the gander. And so it's like, I don't judge what people want to see for whatever reason when they want to create stuff. If it's within the law and it's not freaking weird stuff. But even that stuff apparently is approved of by a lot of art schools and by a lot of artist, you know, quote-unquote creative communities. Stuff that I find abhorrent. But something as basic as the mechanisms by which the human species is perpetuated, that shit cannot be insane. Be a man. I love that cartoon character, by the way. That's great. I heard that in Anna's voice, I have to be honest with you, and Kevin Smith recoiling in horror. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Hello, Ron, and amen. Yes, indeed. Teflon Ron is right on the money there, you know? And it's just, yeah, ask for feedback, not permission. But here's the crazy thing. If you're married, if you're in a relationship, you've gotta, you know, it's a relationship with another person. It's common sense, right? But this is the thing that's so funny about it. I can't think of a single woman I've ever met who's like, man, I wish I could find a man who was more like me and, you know, needed to was trying to do my role in things, whatever the hell that is. People want to see, there was this thing that we used to talk about called the interplay of the sexes, dare I say. And it was about the dynamic between men and women. That has been lost. There is no dynamic. And that's why the relationships and everything that you see in media are so staid. You know, if men are idiots and they don't bring anything to the table, then how come their absence has made so many people so lonely? And that's the question that I have. I mean, good God Almighty, like, as much as I talk about how difficult things are on college campuses for men, and believe me, they absolutely are. And thank God I didn't go to college during this time, but I can't imagine what it's like to be a straight woman on a college campus. I mean, you're just there's nothing there. There's nobody there. You know, if you're looking for a masculine man, good luck. You know, it's absolutely crazy. And I'm saying this as a guy who went to art school, and I'm just saying, like, it was weird to me. And it's kind of depressing. It's kind of depressing that. And so it's like, but guys need role models to be those guys. They can't, how do I word it? Guys need men to tell them how to do the men stuff, like how the whole guy thing works. And it's not going to be stuff that, you know, it's not going to be the kind of stuff that's going to be best if by a committee of you know, senior female academics. It's not going to happen, man. That's not where it's going to be. And I can tell you this, you can say there is no group that can say whatever they want to say on a college campus outside of guys, straight guys. It's like they can't say a thing. And it's not a Cry Me a River thing, because we shouldn't be asking for permission to say those kinds of things. But if the schools don't want us there and they're saying, hey, you don't get to have an opinion if you're white or if you're male or if whatever it is, you know, get the hell out of there. Say, don't take my money then. Let me see here. Add to broadcast. Ellie Munoz says, after boot camp, they send you to advanced instructional training school. For my group was basic electrical engineering, and I used to draw on all the lulls, of course. Yeah. Hey, listen, man, it happens. Masculine man on campus now. Maybe the maintenance crew. You're absolutely right. Yeah, it's really weird. Male in demand. Male in demand ain't got nothing on me. That's right. Hey-o, John, that's right. So yeah, I mean, it's a strange kind of thing, because I just think that you know, when they tried some was it TikTokers or whatever tried to do that I'm super heterosexual thing, and then there was like all this, what is this? And I was thinking, God, that is so funny that's growing organically out of these young people, and they're being canceled, like they're being attacked for it. So if you think that these folks that are attacking, you know, are saying, oh, there's no big deal, what's the problem? You guys are fine, you can do whatever you want to do. You're the, you know, blah blah. How come these kids are getting canceled and chased off of social media when they try to speak up? You gonna convince them that it's not the case? It's like, come on, kids. We know what the hell is up. We know what the hell is up. And I think it's strange, but all I can tell you is I'm going to offer my refusal 100% when someone tells me how I have to think or talk or what I'm allowed to, make in my artwork. Nah, don't ask for permission. That shit's done. It's over. Let me see what we got here. Yes, indeed. Hostman saying, Shanth Enjeti art statement. Star Wars has fallen far with the creation of the meatbags. Rey and Kylo Ren, a far cry from my master, or even. Yes, indeed. I feel that's the people that I feel D-Man and his sidekick seeing. Yeah. Indeed. And here's another thing I want to say about that real quick, just to speak to that. The people I feel the worst for when it comes to Star Wars, and I wasn't one of these people. I'm a simpler kind of guy. I like my Star Wars movies. I like some of the comics. But I was mainly movies and anything that George Lucas made, right? The people who fell in love with and took to heart the expanded universe, George Lucas said when he sold it, they have all this great EU stuff that they could use and all the stuff. So he never intended for that to be wiped out. That was Kathleen Kennedy and Disney. When they wiped out the expanded universe, I felt so bad for you guys. I was going, do people even understand how much people care about this stuff? Frickin' ridiculous. It was hilarious to see all the soldiers trying to hide the dirty side of their placards from drill sergeants. I love it, man. Am I the only one that thinks everyone with a trade from plumbing to farming should just stop and let the liberal cities starve in cold dark? No, just me? Well, Ayn Rand thought that. That's basically the whole premise of Atlas Shrugged, right, Zed? I mean, that's how it is. Yeah, and I mean, I think that's why I left my job. I was like, you guys got this, right? You don't need to teach skills. Yeah, cancel moobs movement. That's right. I'm for the win. Yeah. Oh, for the record, gotcha. Yes, indeed. Greetings and hello. Yeah, guys. I mean, this is the thing, right? If this world without masculinity, or where masculinity is something that everyone has to be afraid of, is such a great idea, how come both men and women are so miserable with it? And that sort of is the funny thing. But you cannot. It's sort of like trying to have total control in any kind of interplay between the sexes or anything else, for that matter, is like trying to plan your own surprise birthday party. It's going to take all of the excitement, all of the joy out of it. There are no surprises when you can completely think that you have to know everything about another person. I always thought the thing that was attractive about women was the mystery, and the fun thing to share with women was what we find mysterious and interesting about them. It was a source of laughter, and it's a source of fun, and it's a great time, man. It's a great time, and I'm somebody who is, been married for 23 years, and I'm still amazed, by my wife every single day. Like, that's just the way it is, it's just how I'm built. But it's sad to me that there's a generation that's lost that, man. That's lost that, it's like we used to joke about it in the best sense of like, gosh, it's like, how do women do that? It's like whatever it is, makeup or whatever. We were just like going, holy cow. It's like, it's a miracle to us. I don't want to have all of that stuff demystified for me. But I also don't want to be, I don't want to think of I don't think of any group of people as being just one thing. And it's frustrating to see that that's what we're being pitched, because there's no point in the individual. But then I guess that's what they hate, isn't it? They hate the idea of the individual, Yeah, weak men make everyone miserable. Amen. Vero says, Lucas in the end was forced into a final decision to sell to Disney. Yeah, he was. I don't think people realize this about creators, right? Being creative artist is not, it's not something that, it's not something that people go into to have their integrity, beat to pieces like George Lucas did. Do you know what I mean? People were calling him racist, like in the most vile sort of ways. Nobody even knows the fact that he's, his wife is black, and then he's got a black daughter named Everest, and he's raising, and how much work he has always put into helping people from all backgrounds as an artist creator. Nobody gives a shit about that. Nobody knows this dude. And to see his own fans, who you hope will have your back, just utterly, destroying you online, saying you're a terrible person. That's why he sold that shit, man. And he even said that. He goes, why would I want to hold on to this if everything I do makes people hate you. And there was this great spoof on a dying, platform. I forget what it was, Collider, I think it was, where they had, George Lucas looking at the trailer for The Rise of Skywalker, and he's like, "Oh, look at this. Are you happy now? You don't have Daddy to kick around anymore." And it always cracks me up because I thought the exact same thing. Yes, this is shadow boobs. You're absolutely right. They're boobs coming out of the Shadow's face. That's right, exactly. Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? And it's going to be a little bit more horror and a little bit more, and that's with 2 R's in it, kids. But that's the thing, it's like, out of character, it hurts to see. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's a tough thing, man. It's a tough thing, and you're seeing J.K. Rowling go through this. I really believe the reason why the press loves to report all this awful stuff about J.K. Rowling is so that she'll sell sell Harry Potter and won't have control of it anymore, so they can get it into the hands of a media corporation. I think they think that's a win for them, and it is a win for them. Then they can change it to make it whatever they want it to be, and it can push whatever crazy neo-Marxist postmodern agenda they want. But they have to make it so painful for her to hold on to this thing she loves that she'll sell it first. And everybody who is a soldier for these corporations and a soldier for, these looters, really, these people who take other people's work and attempt to steal and loot them, as Ayn Rand referred to them, and I agree 100%, that's what they are. They're soldiers for these people. They're soldiers for corporations. They're trying to destroy somebody's spirit so that they will just want to sacrifice their own creation. How much do you have to make somebody feel terrible before it's not worth it to them to have this thing they loved into creation, man? That's some fucked up shit right there. RAZÖRFIST called, let's see here, RAZÖRFIST called it, the people who foamed at the mouth for Lucas to sell Star Wars to Disney are now begging him to take it back. Yep. And I also said the thing that's going to infuriate me is when all of these people who spent their time, like Simon Pegg coming out and saying, "I don't think Star Wars works without George Lucas." After he was on set for the new movies, after he was one of the people who made a career out of trashing George Lucas. And then he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Ahmed Best. Sorry if I almost drove you to jump off a bridge." I mean, just, drives me crazy, these guys. They're going to be the people who are like, tears for George Lucas. And I'm like, you people made his life a living hell, Yeah, I think she learned from watching George. She probably did learn from watching George. You're right about JK. I hope she did. Hail, Simply Green. What are you doing, brother? It's good to see you. If you asked me if I'd ever just give up on Star Wars, I never would have seen it coming. That right there, brother, that sums it up, Simply Green. I would never have believed there would come to me a point where I didn't give a damn about what was happening with Star Wars. Here we are. They brought me there. And when I'm not passing it on to my kids, as was done, generation after generation, it's bad. I watched Mandalorian season 1 and 2 with my son, and then when we heard about the Gina stuff, it was like, we're out. We're out. We can't do this. And now that I know that The Mandalorian is feeding right into the sequel trilogy, I'm like, yep, my hope's done. That's it. I'm out of here. Done with that. Like, it was an interesting glimpse of what might have been, but the goodwill is gone. Goodwill's absolutely gone. I mean, I canceled Disney Plus when they fired Gina Carano because I was like, that was just a terrible thing to do. What the hell did she even say? Think about it. It's crazy. Let's see here. Speaking of RAZÖRFIST, is he modeling himself after... yes, Marion Cobretti from Cobra. Yes, he is. That is the reference. He loves it. Yeah, he tweeted at us when we posted that stream. He's like, Cobra is no laughing matter. God bless him. Yeah, and hail Simply Green indeed. And hello. But yeah, that's the stuff that... that's the stuff that's kind of heartbreaking to me to see, man. It's like you're seeing pop culture get eroded, and I hope that J.K. Rowling is... Well, you can see J.K. Rowling is done with getting kicked. She started to sue people for defamation when they say those things about her. And maybe she's caught on to the... maybe she's caught on to the situation that she's in right now. Like, that it's an organized thing. The press are looking the other way, and you have press and media outlets, saying this stuff, like, just casually, these horrible things. These are terrible things to say about somebody. You do not do that stuff and just act like it's okay. How do I word this? People should, you can't get too bent out of shape, but people shouldn't exactly take it lightly when people accuse you of being a liar or a fraud. Period. And J.K. Rowling has been basically doing everything she can for groups of people that she is not a member of that are now attacking her. And the big group is young people. I mean, what does it do to you to have, like, you know, people who, you know, say, oh, J.K. Rowling, you know, you give us so much, and to have worked on those insane deadlines and actually finished her book series. I mean, that is a ton of work. You know, yeah, she well compensated, sure. She brought something into this world that has enriched the lives and imaginations of so many people, just like George Lucas. But let's look at how people get rewarded, too. You know, let's look at how people get rewarded, too. I mean, for all of this activist crap, it's interesting how female authors like Ayn Rand and J.K. Rowling get utterly tarred and feathered. So, almost like they're afraid of these people having success. It's like confession by projection, I think is what RAZÖRFIST said. I just consider Disney branded Star Wars now. They might, there might be hope if Disney releases its death grip. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's all it is. Organized like a religion, a lot of useful idiots pushing the party line. Yeah, they don't even know what they're working for. They just want to be, they're just angry and resentful. And that's why that particular ideology of Marxism appeals to them so much. You know, they're angry and they're resentful. That's what it is. I mean, guys, I have the art history book, you know. It's like people say, like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? This is a history book that's used in MFA programs all over, Master of Fine Arts programs all over the world. Methodologies of Art, an introduction by Laurie Schneider Adams. Let me make this absolutely clear. I am quoting from Laurie Schneider Adams, very respected in these circles, very respected art historian for contextualizing all art. Here it is. The feminist approach to art history is predicated on the idea that gender is an essential element in the understanding of the creation, content, and evaluation of art. Like the art historians who have been influenced by Marxism, feminist art historians object to formalism on the grounds of, so you've got the Marxist thing, that's what it is. And then contextual approach is Marxism. The two biggest influences are Marxism and feminism. To a certain extent, these methods can be seen as reactions against formalism, which is to say what shit actually looks like, and as expanding iconography to include cultural context bullshit. Because the Marxist method predated and influenced the feminist method in its present form, we begin with Marxism. This is in the fucking book, guys. That's what it is. So yeah, this shit is all tied to that Marxist resentment shit. You understand? It galls them when something they hate is popular. It galls them when they're crabs in a bucket. It galls feminists when they see another woman succeeding. I have not seen evidence to the contrary. I'm not saying this about women. I'm saying this about feminists. Feminism is a Marxist thing. Femininity is a beautiful trait of women. And I don't understand how they made it so that feminism has anything. Like, everyone's a feminist. No, we're not. No thanks. And everyone's not a Marxist either while we're at it. Fucking Looney Tunes. Let's see here. She's got an infinite amount of FU money. That's right. And she's ready to go on a spending spree. I agree. About time someone did. First Johnny, now Rowling. Here comes Mike Barron. Yeah, that's right. Exactly, right? Yeah. Oi, the drivel. Boo. Indeed. Yeah, guys. People need to wake up to this stuff because there was no secrecy in the pushing of this poison into generations of people. The one thing that is, you know, the saving grace of this, but you got to give people a place to go. That's why we're working so hard. The one thing that is the saving grace is that young people are naturally predispositioned to not want to do what old people tell them. And the generation that was so captivated by this in their youth are old now. And the younger generation coming up, we have to give them something else to look at. Something better. And apparently, there's more people who love Harry Potter than love Karl Marx. So, there you go. There it is. It's going to be really interesting with this figure. I got to figure out how to get this to fade in and have it kind of almost glowing in the wind there. Let's see here. Yeah, their foundation is sinking sand. Amen. I think a lot of people will turn on them when they think it's safe to do so. Well, that's the thing that kills me, right? It's pretty easy to see which group holds the power at the moment. You're absolutely right. Well, this is the thing that, right? God, I wish I could show you the pages of Nosfero. For those people who have walked away from positions at colleges like myself and places where you were not allowed to do this on principle, where you had, and I'm talking a full-time job there, period, like stability, livelihood, to come out into this space, I'm sorry, like I won't hear from anybody questioning what the hell I'm doing, because there's going to be a lot of people who want to be in this space once it's easy to be, and it's easy to be in this space from the sidelines and quote unquote be in this space and throw stones. But guys, this shit is hard to do. It puts people in your life in financial stress to do this kind of work. But we work hard because we believe in what we're doing. Do you get what I'm saying? We believe in what we're doing. Like when I look at how many backers, and God, I can't believe it, Stephen Rockwood, 550. When I look at how many backers Nosfero has, guys, that has been non-stop grind. When you guys see me on other streams, you see me doing things like that, and what I'm not painting, it is to promote this book, because you can't just make this stuff happen, you know? Shanth, what are you doing, says Jay Ryan. Let me tell you what I'm doing. I have officially cannot show you guys any Nosfero anymore, because there is paint on every single page. Every figure is resolved. The second to last page is freaking gorgeous. And soon, by the end of this month, by the end of this month, I'm calling that's time on all of the artwork for Nosfero, and then I'm moving into phase 2. So a lot of the painting you see on this website from here on out is going to be me working on cool other stuff, me working on other cool pulp art, influenced by Iron Age stuff, and even painting some of my own characters and some of things that I just want to paint, just things I make up off the top of my head. So yeah, it's going to be a really fun time. So yeah, I'm just kind of celebrating where Nosfero is as of today. You know, the artwork isn't 100% done, but holy cow, every page I know what it's going to look like now, and every page is resolved to the point where you can see it. It is insane. So that is what I'm up to. It's been great. Yeah, let's go 600. Stephen Rockwood, you are the man. That's not Pharaoh. Yeah, that's right. I know it's not Pharaoh. I'm sorry. Yes, indeed. I wish I could show it to you guys. Let's see. I didn't believe in... I wouldn't be here if I did... Simply Green, and I know it. I know it's Simply Green. I know that you guys who are here, who are in the chat, who are bringing positivity all the time, are here because you believe in it. That's why I'm in the chat. That's why I've been, you know... You guys know this, man. I was a backer before I ever launched a project, and I was doing art books and crowdfunding them on my own before I was ever, you know, Comicsgate. I know what it is to believe in this thing, guys. We've got passion and we've got belief, and Simply Green, I absolutely know you are. I know that with all of you guys, man. That's the beautiful thing. And hail to you, Simply Green. I want to put that up there one more time because I love it. I love it. Oh, come on. Just show us a leg. Oh, everything on that page, man. I can't show. It's good, though. Phase 2, is that photoshopping the scans? Okay, so, yeah, in a way, it's scanning them in, it's organizing them, it's bringing them into InDesign, and doing the scripting stuff. And there's so much nuance in a painted page that it drives the dialogue. So I have, you know, the mock-up, you know, of what characters are saying and everything like that. But there's little expressions, or there's little things, or there are little pauses you build in the storytelling that now that's kind of when I go in heavy on, like, what things are going to say and what needs to be said and what's already shown and doesn't need to be said. Because I'm not one of those people who, you know, I think about the pictures and the words obviously working together, and I don't want to restate something in the words that's in the pictures, but man, it's going to be, it's the fun phase, man. It's the phase of wrapping this stuff up, you know? It's great. And I just love seeing the artwork come together, because I've been living with this book now for over a year. The amount of work to get something to the numbers that I've been able to get it to without like a major, you know, without a major name, you know, attached to it. It's just me, you know, and to meet all of you guys, it's a miracle. And I don't know if it'll all hit me. You know, I think it's going to hit me pretty hard once I get to one of the final phases of doing this, where I'm just going to go, holy cow. Like, the gratitude is real. I just tell you that. I am so grateful to you guys for your support. It's incredible. It's incredible. I don't know what else to say, guys. I really appreciate it, you know? And I think that, you know, it's to be free and to be creating work like I'm creating it now, and it's not, it's, you know, it's a tremendous amount of responsibility. It's not like we're skipping through a field with a dandelion in our mouth or anything like that. But it's to be where I'm at right now, where I just go, oh, my job is to not care what certain people say we are and aren't allowed to paint. My job is to paint it, and also to have my livelihood depend on it. And that's some crazy stuff. It's some crazy stuff, and it's funny. It's like it's ideas are always cheap in a sense, right? It's the bringing those into being that is the thing that is hard to do. And do you guys see what happened right there with the paint? Like how we're starting to fade these things in? That's a big part of what makes, what I do. This is funny. This stuff is relaxing to me because Nosfero is so much more intense of a process. You know what I mean? It's a very intense process to create something like that. And I love working on other people's stuff for this reason. I'm just going to have her sort of like fading into the mist and into the smoke. That's what's going to be cool when I do this. Mixing in a lot of complementary colors. Yeah, gratitude is the best attitude. It's where you got to be, guys. Yep. As William Wallace said, freedom! Yeah, we got to do that movie on Double Impact at some point, man. I'd love to do that because, it's like, it's funny, you guys asked me a question earlier, and I think it was Timmy Mello, but was it Timmy Mello? Who was it? Hold on, let me scroll and see. See who it was. Is it Art and Times of Jay Ryan? I forget who it was who said it. Their components. Hitchens Razor, that which can be asserted without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. Great, I'm seeing so many great stuff in the chat. But somebody was talking about whether art school was ever pitching you on freedom. Absolutely, after CG Phase 3, indeed. Drawing what you do, art is super easy. Yeah, that's true. But it's when we were talking about that, like, were they pitching you on freedom? You absolutely right. They were pitching us on freedom. Yeah, they were. They were telling us that, come here. We're open to all things, all types of expression, all this. You can have any crazy idea you want to have at art school because we're free. And then you realize certain people's freedom is a lot more free than yours once you're there for a little bit. Then they say things like, I don't want to see you doing comics. Comics are an arrested development art form, and it's not really an art form, and you go, oh, so like you support all ideas and all art forms, just the approved ones. And then it's like, yeah, but all that stuff, that's just about it. Like I'd forgotten about this. My senior year of college, a comic book, a big name in comics, let's say, who was a teacher of my comic book class at my college, when I did an illustration about a female character that was about my sister-in-law, right? It was a story because he said, do a story based on somebody that you actually know in your life. So it was based on her and what she told me. He put it to the classroom. This is a big name in comics. He put it to the classroom. And Hale Crenshaw, it's good to see you, and said, do the women in the class, what do the women in this class feel? Do they feel like he has a right to tell this story? Let's think about that for a minute. Do I have a right to tell a story about a person that I know and is in my family that they don't know? What was the concept he was pitching there? Well, the concept he was pitching there is I don't have a right to tell the story as a man. That was my senior year in college, and that was some lame-ass male teacher trying to ingratiate himself because he hates his masculinity, and you can see that in all of the work that he's done later in his career. What a piece of shit. Sorry, but sometimes it's got to be said. And I thought, go to hell, man. If I ever see that kid out in the world, I will tell him so. I'll be like, you fucking loser. Sorry, dude. I'm in a mood right now, man. That shit is pissing me off. How dare people tell you what they think you are and aren't allowed to do on the basis of anything like your sex or your religion or whatever else. That is bullshit. Bullshit. And nothing makes me more furious than teachers who are basically, what's the word I'm looking for? Malpractice as far as I'm concerned. Telling people how they are and aren't allowed to express themselves, that's teaching bigotry, man. You teach bigotry as a teacher, you're a terrible fucking person. Bigotry ain't having an opinion that, that makes you comfortable or uncomfortable. Bigotry is teaching people that somebody is not allowed to have an opinion based on something they can't change. Yes, indeed. Yep. Everyone miserable. You're absolutely right. Yep. That's what it was. That's what it was. And I cannot, guys, it sounds like a joke. This was my career and livelihood working in this environment. Do you know how painful it is? Well, I guess a lot of you probably know as Americans. Do you know how painful it is to watch something you're a part of and that you love slide into absolute, ruin, or be rotted from the inside by just resentful people who don't contribute in any shape, form, or fashion? And it is heartbreaking because at first, oh gosh, it's like what you see, it's a microcosm of what you see in fandom and what you see in pop culture, right? That's why they go after pop culture. You go, man, I love this thing. Man, maybe this thing will come back. And finally you go, they've killed this thing. And if it comes back, by the time it comes back, or it could come back, it's no longer worth me being a part of it in the meantime. That's what I experienced, guys. And I'm not trying to sell black pills here today. I'm as white-pilled as anybody. But it's crazy. Yeah. The answer is yes, indeed. I came from CG, yes. That's absolute. Or from GG, yes. I totally know what you mean. Geeks and Gamers, is that right? Yep. I think that's right. GG is Geeks and Gamers, right? But yeah, it is. They go after this stuff, man. I haven't given up on making games, but I barely play anymore. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I mean, that's it, isn't it? That's it. Oh, Gamergate. Sorry, Gamergate. Duh, I should have known that. Yes, and we watched it happen there. We watched it. Gamergate. See, everybody's getting it now and showing how old I am. It's pretty pathetic, really. How much I don't get this stuff, but yes, it's yes, of course. I remember when that was happening there, and people had no idea. It started in the colleges, right? It started there. And the colleges, by the way, let me be clear about this. Do you think, and you guys, what am I saying? You guys know this. The intellectuals who've come in and ruined these various art forms, do you think they weren't shitting all over video games as being a stupid, misogynistic, before they had even ever seen these games? Not to mention the shit that they played and probably enjoyed when they were kids, probably had everything they now speak against. Of course not. And it's just the funniness that when you see a bunch of academics who have never played a video game who say this is a stupid art form, it doesn't matter, 1 minute, and then they're having all these opinions on, have you heard about Gamergate? They're getting their information from the New York Times, and it's effing embarrassing. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I do know. Absolutely. Yeah. She also, I can't even get into that. That makes me sick, what she did to her last boyfriend. Again, allegedly. Yeah, there's some sick people out there, guys. There's some sick people out there, and you got to pay attention because they don't really care, man. I still love to design games despite showing it will never get knowing it'll never get made. You never know that. Let's never give up. I love developing mechanics. Yeah, I mean, listen, guys. I know the indie scene is rough in anything, right? Same thing in comics. It's no different. But we can't give up, man. We got to just keep doing this stuff. Got to keep making stuff, because at the end of the day, the only things that won't get made are the ideas of all of these mental lightweights who need people with skill in order to have their stuff happen. I don't need anyone else in terms of the physical making of this book if push comes to shove. I am fortunate to have Eric Weathers. I am fortunate to have, people around me and have backers and all of that kind of stuff. But if I can make a comic book by myself if I have to, and I've made art books by myself, to be sure, and crowdfunded them by myself, and my backers, of course, but promoted them, I mean to say. And they can't do that. So why are we giving them power? Again, Atlas needs to shrug. People need to walk the F away. Yeah, just let them eat themselves. You're absolutely right. That's what they're going to do. When the masses are all running in one direction, look the other way in expectation of the blind side. Yes, indeed. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, they kept trying to make it about the relationship stuff. Meanwhile, everyone was pointing out how figuratively, yes, it was. You're absolutely right. Yep, literally too. Yes, indeed. Yeah, many innocent are harmed in such an approach. You're absolutely right. There will always be a place for game designers in the indie field. Yeah, well, think about it this way, guys. Think about it this way. These people are sprinters. They're not marathon runners. They don't have the energy to do anything but, talk crap and gossip. And it was because they convinced an entire industry, and they convinced a lot of people that they were actually, had an opinion that would just open up new markets. They used the linguistics of capitalism on fools who were just like, oh, we'll open up our market to women. to advance a Marxist agenda. That's all it was. It's just, I mean, I watched it happen where it was born, which was in academia. I just didn't know what the freak, all this stuff was, because they don't, how do I word it? It wasn't until I got into grad school when they started broadcasting this stuff. And then you go, oh, that's where all my college professors are getting this crap from. It's so insidious, guys. People have to start calling it out for what it is. As much as I love woke has become now a derogatory term, I think people need to start calling it Marxism. That's it. That's what it actually is. That's the one thing that they keep trying to hide. People need to understand in a very simple term what it is. It is an ideology of resentment where people are resentful that they don't have, people without any kind of skill or any kind of contribution to bring, any kind of work ethic, are angry that they don't get all the rewards of people who do. Why would you want rewards for something you don't bring to the table? I don't understand it. You didn't create Harry Potter. Why do you think you deserve to run it? It's nuts. You didn't create Star Wars. Why do you think you deserve to run it? It's nuts. The mob does not know better than the creator. We've seen that happen now. Everything these things are, they were driven off a cliff by the mob of people who thought they knew better than George Lucas. How do you like things now? How do you like creativity by committee? It's dog shit. God, I'm in a mood today. User interface is full of people who think they know what they're doing. Absolutely. Envy corrupts always, indeed. Game mechanics and game art designers, indeed. There will always be a place for game designers in the indie field. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Or, as I call it, all that commie shit. Yes, indeed. That's what it is. Yeah. I mean, people... This is the thing. And I think about this a lot, right? Whenever I hear that word community, it's like, yes, I understand it. But whenever I hear it and someone's complaining using the word community membership as, grounds for their opinion, it makes me a little nervous. It's like, just have your opinion. Right? I've heard people talk about this stuff before, and it's a really weird thing. I don't really believe that all of the pronoun stuff, the political pronoun stuff, is actually about what people think it's about. I think it's about using a pronoun that is usually used to represent a group of people to dehumanize people. When I was growing up, one of the biggest ways that people put people who were prejudiced would refer to people is they would say those people, they, them. That was the way they dehumanized people. So the idea of getting a generation thinking that they're expressing their individuality by adopting things that actually deny their individuality, I think every single person who is interested in pushing back against this crap should say, my pronouns are I and me. My pronouns are I and me. Read Ayn Rand's Anthem if you don't believe me. In that hellscape communist world of the future, the word that's illegal to say is the word I. That's the word that they don't allow people to say. That's it in a nutshell. So remember that when you go out into the world. Your pronouns are I and me. I'm not mailing these books when they're done to they. I'm mailing these books to a bunch of different I's who backed it. I have to write in everybody's address as I do it. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Yeah, I'm still here, Tammy. I'm still ranting my brains out. That's what I do. Yeah, evil cannot create anything new. They can only corrupt and ruin what good forces have invented or made. Tolkien. And that was a strong anti-communist statement there, anti-Marxist statement. Spirit of Cain, jealousy, and resentment. Amen. Yeah, I believe it's an attack, possibly from a superpower, possibly supranational entity, constantly changing and rules destabilize society. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yep, indeed. Changing language. I got you. Absolutely. Yeah. The eyes have it, indeed. They create chaos so they have something to save you from. Well, it's. I think that you guys are right. Like, someone asked me one time, they go, do you think it's a conspiracy? And I was like, and I said to them, I go, well, it's a greed conspiracy. I mean, it's rooted in them wanting to get, money and success and power. The difference is that they want it without merit. They want meritless attention and they want meritless money. And the only way they can get it is to steal, which is why Ayn Rand referred to them in Atlas Shrugged, the group of people, as looters. Someone asked me one time, they go, what do you think of manga fans? Can you imagine? People ask you stuff like that when you're a teacher. They go, what do you think of manga fans? Excuse me, professor? What do you think of manga fans? Here's an answer. Are we talking about people who are fans and buy their manga, or are we talking about people who call themselves fans and steal their manga? That's the only difference I make. Think about it. Let's see. Yeah, they create chaos. Yep, it's Marxism that's being pushed. It's an ideology where man, the individual is God. Follow the money, and it leads back to absolutely. Yes, it does. They're totally gonna like shadow ban this stream, but fuck it. Observation. These meatbags who force conformity are more tyrannical than these meatbags known as the Sith. You're absolutely right. Yep. Meritless. Is that a targeted attack on the Kardashians? No, I mean they're great, man. Listen. Hashtag monger. Yes, indeed. Mo would call them weebs. I'm a proud weeb. There you go. Awesome one. That's what I like to see, man. Buy your stuff. Do not steal it. It's important. It's a very important thing. Support the creators that you like. Very important. I mean, like you look at something like manga, right? And it's like, you know, you got artists who are going out there and who are making this stuff happen. And I'm not saying like every industry is perfect or whatever, and it's like, oh, every dollar goes to the creator. But let's be real. If you love something and you are really invested in it, why wouldn't you pay for it? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, right? And I've seen so many people who claim to be huge manga fans, and it's like, you're not a fan until you actually trade goods for it. That's when you're a fan. You know, when I see these campaigns and I see people doing this, guys, think about this for a minute, right? What is $25 an hour, right? When I think about the or whatever, that's like the base cost of the book without shipping. I have put in so much more hours than even $25 an hour for this book if you were to take the money and you were to spread it out. But I'm trying to do something that you guys know, pushing back against the cultural vandals, as my brother Doomcock would say. And that's what we got to do, man. Yeah, get those teeth clean, Phil. Come on now. You got to look good for the camera. Kurt Vonnegut has a short story about a future society that has achieved equality, and they had to do is disfigure the beautiful, crippled... Seriously, 40% Zed. Read Anthem. Listen to the audiobook Anthem. It's online somewhere. If you can't find it, I've got a link to it. It is completely... It's that times... It is... I'm like, people who don't want to read Atlas Shrugged, which everybody should read that book. I think it should be required reading for people in this country. But people who read, who don't want to read Atlas Shrugged, Anthem is like the short story novella version of it. It is so short, it's breezy, and it covers all the big bases. It's incredible. I'm out of the Deanist. Understood. Yeah. I'm shower fresh too. Haha. Took y'all in there with me earlier. Hey, listen. However you roll, Tamier. However you roll. We roll with you. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, the meatbag at the hands of this account would proudly refer to himself as a weeb. And growing in his knowledge of weeb artists. Yep, there's some beautiful stuff out there. Will do, indeed. Is it a brick like Atlas? No, it's not. It is an absolute short story. In fact, I don't... Let me see if I can do this. I might not be able to, but you guys are going to watch an old person do things, which is always fun and a little depressing. I don't know. Let me see if I can find it here. I know I have it somewhere. Sorry, guys. It takes me a second sometimes. Sometimes it takes me more than a second. Sometimes it takes me a third. Let me see here. Because I want to make sure I have it. There we go. So, anybody who wants to, oh, there you go. There it goes. Anthem, audiobook, Ayn Rand, YouTube. Already got it, John. You got it. I don't know why I even bother. You guys are so much quicker on this stuff than I am. But yes, it is online, and I will tell you this. I've bought Atlas Shrugged so many freaking times, it's ridiculous. So I own a hardcover of Atlas Shrugged. I own, I bought the CDs of Atlas Shrugged, which I have over here. And I tell people all the time, guys, get a hold of this stuff, support this stuff. It's great. It's not a brick like the Fountainhead or Atlas. It is not. It is great. And it is a breezy read and gets it done. I'm older than you, Shanth. Yeah. Well, listen, age is a state of mind. I think what is it? Not the years, it's the mileage. And I think I've got way too much mileage on my brain. It's pudding. Ideally, CGIP is established to the point that your hard work and effort now pay outlet. No, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Hey, listen. And I know you know this, Simply Green. I'm telling you something you already know, but let me be clear about this. The fact that you guys rock with me and are like, let's get this shit done and let's make this happen, fucking right on, man. I love it, man. I'm shit older than you. I've heard that one before. Pastamania. Oh, I'm 1972. Oh, right on. We're in the same group though, more or less, I think. Let me see here. Out of character. Speaking of artists, do you know any Antonio Lopez art books for sale? I had been looking for some, but they're coming up empty. Yeah, the last book of his that came out, you have to get them used. There's nothing new right now. I had it ordered for the library at the school I was at because I was tired of people, not knowing his stuff. But there is a book on his stuff. It's a great book, but I think there's only like one really good book on his stuff, and it's out of print. So it's from the 70s. Let me see. Almost 2,000 years old. Impressive. Yes, indeed. Yeah, there's good stuff out there. I think I left part of my brain when I took the nursing board exam in 2006. Tammy, let me tell you something. When I got my master's degree, I feel the same way. When I handed in my thesis for my MFA, I felt like it had just taken some of my brain cells away from me. Not kidding. That's why I laugh when people want to talk to me about, like, academia and how these things work. I'm like, fools, I've been at full-time faculty meetings at 2 different colleges. I have a master's degree. I know the poisonous shit they teach at these places, man. It's crazy. And as long as I was a teacher there, I did everything I could, to just teach art. Well, not even just teach art, to teach about the importance of freedom and different, perspectives. I asked my students almost every semester. I would ask my students if any of them could tell me what Article 1 of the Constitution of the United States was. I don't think there were a lot of teachers doing that. And in hindsight, when I look back, I go, that probably made me come off to some of my colleagues as the kind of person they didn't want to hire. Even though, supposedly, I was the kind of person they want to hire. You have to laugh. Yep. E-Tip rolling deep in Pastamania. Yes. We love Pastamania here, folks. You guys know that. You guys know we love Pastamania here. But it's, guys, there's so much stuff that we have the ability to do if we just keep getting to work. We show up on these streams, and that's why I was saying to my missus earlier today, I got to stream. I haven't streamed in a bit because I've been, wasn't feeling good this weekend, but whatever. Wah. Somebody called the ambulance. But I was working on Nosfero stuff you guys couldn't see. And that was, it's kind of frustrating sometimes. And I said, no, now that I'm where I'm at right now on the book, I'm going to just be streaming stuff that, is painting and art and where I can talk to you guys and do what I got to do. Because I feel good where I am on the book. I feel great where I am on the book, actually. Freaking beautiful. When I look over at it, just makes me want to smile, man. Makes me want to smile. Let's see here. Oh, shoot. I should like to introduce these new college snowflakes to HK. There you go. Yeah, I think it'd probably melt their brains. That's right, brother. Amen, amen, amen. Let me see here. What is Article 1? You know what it is. Article 1 establishes the legislative branch of government. Article 2 establishes the executive branch. Article 3 establishes the judiciary. They're so important. I got the ambulance for you, Shanth. Earlier this week, this Monday, this morning, yesterday, I don't know anymore. Hear that, kids? He's keeping secrets. That's right. Did you take 2 lumps? Yeah, at Lumpies, I got 2 lumps. Let me tell you, my friend. I took 2 lumps and I went straight to Lumpies. Yeah. And here's the funny thing. This is the thing that I think is so important for us to say. We're not fighting against anything other than people trying to make it impossible for others to be able to be free. Like, we're fighting for liberty. This benefits everybody. And I just don't think that people fully have an understanding, and they haven't been educated into it. They don't understand because they weren't taught this. That an attack on somebody else's right to express themselves freely is an attack on your right. So you don't just get to have your rights over this other group. You just don't. It doesn't work that way. It's not an either or proposition, right? And everybody doesn't get a trophy, and everybody doesn't win, and everybody doesn't get to do a comic book or write a novel or whatever. But everybody can try. Everybody has a right to try and see where it goes. That's what you're guaranteed. And when you say to yourself, my right to try or my right to succeed is what matters to me, and if this person who is better than I am or more successful or more skilled than I am has an opportunity that I have, then they're going to get it on merit, and I would rather take it from them because I want to reward myself even though I don't merit it. That's what you run into, and that's the poison we're fighting, guys. Yep. Freedom allows others their dignity. Yeah, liberty indeed. Amen. Brought to you by 102.3 The Meat. Indeed. I didn't know what it was. I'm not American. Here's a funny thing, Stephen Rockwood. The only student who ever answered that question correct in my first 10 years of teaching was a Canadian. What's that say? I mean, my God. I remember sitting there going, that's why my streams have liberty at the end of them. That's why my book is going to have liberty on the back of it. Made with liberty in the USA. I know why I'm able to do what I'm able to do. I know what this shit's about. You know? And I think that the biggest problem is the people who Atlas Shrugged has some of the best takedowns of all of this stuff, and they know it. They know Atlas Shrugged has their number, and that's why they've made that book something people are afraid to read. So if the people who are afraid of, you know, the scale of the book or whatever don't read it and can't speak to it and can't cite it, and then everyone else is afraid to read it, then they win. It's scary, man. That's why I tell people, read these things. At the very least, read Anthem. At the very least, read Anthem and tell other people to read it and check it out. Because, man, does it just lay waste to where this ideology goes. And it does it in a much more of a parable. It's basically like, their idea of this world is summed up in the short story, The Lottery. You know, that nihilistic view of this world. Yes, indeed, vive la liberté. You're absolutely right. And this is the thing that just pisses me off, man, is that they've got that kind of crap that they put into young people's heads, like Lord of the Flies or To Catcher in the Rye and all that other, you know, deconstructionist, postmodernist garbage. And a short story like Anthem, which I'm fortunate to say one of the teachers at the local high school had his students read it, and that's how we heard about it, which was kind of cool. There are great teachers out there who are trying to get this stuff into students' heads. It's not all nihilism. But it talks about what does it do to you long term. And it talks about men and women and the state getting in the way of their relationships, their ability to have relationships, to fall in love. It paints a bleak picture, and it is something that we're seeing. What is up, Sulcurialt? How are you doing, my friend? It is great to see you. I hope you're doing well, brother. Yeah, Anthem and Atlas Shrugged. Yes. Okay. So yeah, Anthem, you can find the audiobook almost anywhere. Atlas Shrugged, you can find the same audiobook anywhere. But Anthem's the one I would say for people to check out. And Atlas Shrugged is a book that I think everybody should get the audiobook if they don't, you know, like reading tomes, and read it, man. Yes, indeed. Today at 4 p.m., Jericho Green's gonna go check out Jericho on Locals. He's the man. Link a sausage. Amen. 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 Yeah, guys, you gotta read this stuff because they've already got books that they're reading, and that's what they use to put everything together. But this book it's not just a book that's like, you know, I disagree. It's a book that actually gives you the strategy for what they're doing. There are things that book predicts on a regular basis, and it's because the opposition doesn't read the book. It's like it's like giving someone the perfect, you know, strategy for how to confront this stupid shit, and people were like, yeah, but I'd rather not read it. It's like, and look, I'm throwing stones in a glass house, guys, because let's be honest, I'm a slow reader, and I used to not read a lot of fiction or want to read anything for that matter. And there's good things in them books, let me tell you. There we go. Now we're getting there. Is the book on Antonio Lopez by Roger Padilla? I actually am not sure. Hang on a second. Let me check real quick. Antonio Lopez design book. Because I know the cover. I have the cover memorized. It is... Let me see. It is the book called Antonio, Fashion, Art, Sex, and Disco, and it is by Roger Padilla. Yes, it is. That's the book. It's the one with the photo on the cover and the green and the pink and the red logo. Yeah, that's the book, and it's great. It's the best collection of his stuff that you're going to find, man, and totally influenced JoJo, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Well, the producers of the movie are trying to portray bad guys in a good light, maybe. Yes, they are. Yeah, of course they are. Absolutely, yes. 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, guys, in about 30 minutes. Jericho's going to be going live. Why is Atlas Shrugged movie so cringe? Because no one wants that message to get out there. So you have to scrape pennies together in order to make that into a movie. And plus, if you work on it, you're probably not going to work on a lot of things after it. I am convinced of this, guys. So the good news is the Daily Wire has currently secured the rights to make an Atlas Shrugged streaming series or something like that. And I hope to God they get people to work on it who aren't afraid. People who aren't afraid to work on it. That's my hope. I mean, I would love to see an honest to goodness translation of that, man. It's got to happen. When you have an apartment full of books, but you have an attention deficit, I've been there, my friend. Let's see. Definitely in JoJo, especially the characters. Yeah, same here, Timmy. But mine are all Stephen King. Oh my gosh, that's the Mrs. favorite author. Love Stephen King. Love Stephen King. You know, gotta love that stuff. Let me just see here. I'm just checking out. Yes, indeed. Check out JerichoGreen.net. I've made some merch for Jericho. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I've done some artwork that is really, really fun. Of Bouillabaisse in gold. He's got mugs. He's got T-shirts. Get your green gear. It's great stuff, man. And these are the kinds of crazy things we get up to. You guys know this, man. It's like, it's about having voices that come out here and you know, talk about this stuff and make sure people are aware that you're not alone. You're not alone out there thinking this stuff is crazy, but more importantly, it's not just about talking about the stuff that we think is crazy. It's about reminding ourselves about all of the cool stuff that's out there and that will be there again. I've been telling people a lot lately that we are absolutely in a period like the mid to late 70s right now. And we're about to move into that next phase, but it's going to take courage. It's not guaranteed if people don't have the courage to make it happen. It's by no means guaranteed. Yeah, John, be an executive producer. Go for it. Yes, indeed. Same here, Timmy Miner. Should have put under Bouillabaisse, brought to you by Skynet. We're going to have more of these shirts, let me tell you. And that one, we've already got a logo for that, man. It's absolutely craziness. But yeah, guys, I love hanging out here with you guys. I love getting out the good word about, you know, books like RAZÖRFIST Death Mask, things like Ayn Rand's incredible body of work that she's done. She's an incredible lady, you know, and has done some really amazing stuff. Let me see if I can find this, because this might be a good thing to do. Here, hang on. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it, but let's see. File, find. Let's see here. I just want to see if this is legit and I can do this. Yeah, let's do this, guys. I'm going to see if I can play this, and we'll see if this works, man. Let's see if this works. So here you go, guys. I want to share this with you guys because this is, and I might get a copyright, whatever, for this, but I don't care. This is in front of the House Un-American Activities Committee, and this is Ayn Rand, the author, Ayn Rand. Let me see if I can make this happen here. Let's see here. There we go. Open. And then we'll see if we have any audio for this. So I went in and I timed the audio so that it sounded less awful because you can only find it sped up. Let me pause this for a second. Sorry, folks. Pause. I've got to unmute the movie. And here you go, guys. Here's a little video for you of the lady talking about her work. Let's watch this.
Propaganda, am I correct? I mean, would that be a fair statement to say that that would be communist propaganda? Now, here is what the picture Song of Russia contains. It starts with an American conductor played by Robert Taylor. That's right.
That's a great change from the Russians I have always known. I've known a lot of. Don't they do things at all like Americans? Don't they walk across town to visit their mother-in-law or somebody?
Look, it's very hard to explain. It's almost impossible to convey to a free people what it's like to live in a totalitarian dictatorship. I can tell you a lot of details. I can never completely convince you because you are free. And it's in a way good that you can't even conceive of what it's like. Certainly they have friends and mother-in-laws. They try to live a human life, but you understand that it is totally inhuman. Now try to imagine what it's like if you are in constant terror from morning to night, and at night you're waiting for a doorbell to ring. If you are afraid of everything and everybody. If you live in a country where human life is nothing, less than nothing, and you know it. You don't know who, when, is going to do what to you because he may have friends somewhere. Or there is no law and no rights of any kind.
You came here in 1926, I believe you said. Did you escape from Russia, or did you have a passport?
No, strange enough.
So that right there, guys, that right there is a cleaned up audio version that I did. And this is the thing I want you guys to be thinking about. And I agree with you on some level. It's where some people are heading, and they're trying to drag us all. But we know where we're heading, guys. We are funding culture that is not about this. We're funding art. Let's call it what it is. We're funding actual art. We're not making propaganda here anymore. We're done with that stuff. And we need to show people where we're heading. We're heading in the direction of liberty. We're heading in the direction of optimism. We're heading in the direction of quality and merit. And all of you guys who are here, who back this book, who watch this channel, who support all of this kind of stuff, what we have to do is tell people where we're heading and how much better it is. That's it. It's not a hard sell. It is much harder to demoralize people with propaganda and get them to give up on their lives. It is a harder sell, nihilism, than optimism is. But you got to reignite that spark in people, and you're going to do it with positivity. You're going to do it with energy. You're going to do it by showing them you're industrious. And we've got to do that. We cannot forget that it's never okay to take the black pill. It's never okay. And when one of us falls down, we got to remind them to get back up. Fall down 7 times, get up 8. That's what Denzel says, and it's important, right? We're interesting people. You know, we're doing things. Yes, the end of the world, Tom McDonald. Amen. Yeah, speaking of new song and somebody who's fighting the good fight in the Iron Age, indeed. Strive for novelty. Yes, indeed. And welcome again, channel member. I forgot to mention that when I said, yes, evil prevails when you take the black pill. It's absolutely right, guys. Thank you guys for being here on the stream today, by the way. I appreciate it. I am so thrilled with where Nosfero is at this point. I'm so thrilled to have you guys back in this book. Check out RAZÖRFIST's work. Check out Anthem by Ayn Rand. Check out things that speak to that human character that will survive and persevere against all of this crap. Because that's what we do here. That's what it's about, man. That's right. That's absolutely right. That's how you learn how to do it, guys. Much love, Tammy. Much love to all of you guys in the chat. I'm going to play the credits celebrating our channel members. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here. It's been a fun 2 hours. And yes, indeed. And check out Anthem. It's a short listen. And it's haunting and inspiring at the same time, guys. And yes, indeed. Bow, Timmy Mello, my brother. It is great to see you in the chat, my friend. And thank you, John, for being in the chat, dropping links. I do appreciate it. Thank you, Phil. Guys, this stuff is important. Go check out my brother Jericho. He's going to be going live on his channel where is he going to be? If you could let us know one more time. I know it's in the chat here, but go check out my brother Jericho and see what he's up to. Yes, indeed. That's right. Hail to all of you guys. You guys are the best. Much love, awesome one. Much love, John, Tammy, Art and Time of Jay Ryan. Indeed, Simply Green. You guys are the best. Thank you for being here. I will see you guys soon. Take care. Stay gold. And peace. We will absolutely keep kicking ass. And hail Stephen Rockwood, first channel member, Alpha and Omega. Much love, my friend. And take care, everybody. I will see you guys soon. And there is a link from Tammy A. That's where you get all of your Jericho Green fresh goodness. Check it out there, guys. All right, I'll see you soon. Take care. And let's see, where is... There it is. Trying to figure out where things went. Take care, everybody. Peace. Sorry, we have to interrupt that really quickly with a super chat that came in at the last minute, so I am sorry to do that, of course, but not really sorry. Thank you so much, Hostman Kotaku. Out of character, Grimdark is a genre that gets a lot of hate, but it's the best. It has a moral core of hope. The Light in the Darkness, The Last of Us, Silver Surfer Parable, Daredevil, etc., etc. My friend, sometimes you have to break into your own credits. I'm going to replay those credits, but I had to come in here. Thank you for the super chat. Had to send you a cheerleader. You guys are the best. And of course, I don't want to miss a super chat. So thank you so much, and take care, everybody. Back to the credits from the start.